While Madrid and much of Spain were dealing with snow, and I know there's going to be a lot of positivity on this match review, so I do want to say, unfortunately, I'm not very happy with the way that the Spanish Federation handled the Femení. They were one of the few teams, that being the Barca Femení, that had to travel through the snow. They shut almost everything else down concerning the male first team, so I want to just throw in that little bit of negativity, having just been so excited about the match review that I did with their 5-0 win against Espanyol coming midweek. But we're going to go back to Barca because the first team for Barcelona were traveling to southern Spain with Granada, and they left a day early as well to deal with that, so they were able to get this match going against Granada. We'll start with the formations because I think the formation that Koeman has now found something with the 4-3-3. That's probably the most important takeaway I have from this match. De Jong as an interior, as we've seen, and Pedri as an interior as well, the other one in that 4-3-3. Griezmann or Braithwaite up top, and Koeman would hope that he gets enough out of that position. Unfortunately, Ronald Araujo was injured in the warm-up, and Umtiti had to come in for him, but didn't wind up being such a bad thing. More on that later. And Busquets, 600th game in a Barcelona jersey, and promise more on him in a second as well. First 3 minutes of this match, though, all Granada, they're the ones at home who came out to play. Puertas forces a Ter Stegen save because De Jong made his worst mistake of the match. But again, that comes in the first 3 minutes. And this match, the whole narrative could have had a much different answer if Puertas puts one past Ter Stegen to flip that game on its head. But fortunately, Barcelona did settle down. Mingueza, I thought he was bright early. He was the one dealing with Soldado. As far as dealing with the opposition's number 9, Piqué does it. Or Lionel does it, or Araujo does it. So Mingueza, as far as the center back depth charts of who's dealing with the opposition's primary striker, it's not usually Mingueza in any situation he's been on the field, but he did that today quite well, dealing with Soldado. While Granada did have the upper hand in the early parts of the match, Barca did find the match after a few minutes. The press was doing its job, the press was doing well, and the first real chance is De Jong getting an interception and playing through Pedri, but the Granada defense got back in time, and the resulting corner then led to the goal. Busquets tried to find Pedri, instead Soldado whiffs on it, which is an attempt to play it, and it falls right to Griezmann, who was in an offside position, but Soldado's attempt to play it keeps him clean, and he scores the first of the game. It wasn't just scoring too. Griezmann was bright in this match in terms of his passing. It was a well-done ball over the Granada pressure right into the middle of the field, and De Jong plays in Dembélé, who shoots wide, and that shot was opened up by an overlapping run from Des. So a lot of synergy, a lot of chemistry being shown by Barca in the first half of this match, just looking so much more comfortable in that 4-3-3. It's going to be a theme throughout today's match. 29th minute, Soldado turns and a through ball to Puertas, but Umtiti had stepped at the perfect time, and Ter Stegen saved it anyway. And Umtiti, credit to him as well, for someone who's been on the bench and been in and out of the lineup, never really had consistent form. To be able to step in that moment shows you that he still has the confidence required of that position, even if he doesn't have the match fitness. Barca were able to get the second goal of the game in the 35th minute, playing through that Granada pressure once again. Busquets fortunate maybe not to get called for the handball, but Barca win it and it goes out wide to Griezmann, who carried it 50 plus yards. Alba providing the outlet the whole way, so Granada could not just pressure Griezmann. And since they never stepped to him, he instead goes inside to Messi instead of outside to Alba, and Messi aims it, scores it through traffic, his 10th of the season at that point. The 3-0 then in the 42nd minute, so 7 minutes after that, the Messi free kick after Pedri is fouled right outside the penalty box, but dead center of the goal. Granada did try to put somebody behind the wall, lying down underneath. They showed you why putting that man horizontal at the bottom of the wall is a bit of a gimmick, because Messi doesn't even go to the wall. Instead, he goes to the left of the wall, driven low and hard, and Silva had no chance on the Messi free kick. Good to see Messi not only get his 10th goal of the Liga season, but also his 11th, making him the undisputed top scorer at this moment. So for a guy that was underperforming his expected XG this season so far, well, we figured that that would eventually level itself out. And Messi, I wouldn't say that he's getting form. It's merely the ball is starting to go in the back of the net, as we expected it eventually would. So the first half comes to an end. Barca up 3-0. Changes need to be made, and so Granada 3 changes at the half. Luis Milla, son of the former Barca and Real Madrid midfielder, who I think is a pretty industrious, just a quality La Liga player. I like him as a player. Jesus Vallejo, former Real Madrid center back, also comes on, as well as Luis Suarez. And I was surprised for the broadcast I was watching. There was no joke of not that Luis Suarez against Barcelona, but this is a Colombian one, not the Uruguayan. I think he's a good La Liga and a good tidy player as well, that being Luis Suarez. So Granada did get a light bump from these 3 coming on, but quickly lost steam again, being down 3-0. Difficult to fight in those circumstances. 57th minute, De Jong chance, continuing to push forward as an interior and not having to deal so much with being in that double pivot and always watching that spacing. this isn't even about defensive transition because Barca seem to be more comfortable as well shutting down those inside channels in their 4-3-3. So it's good to see De Jong able to push forward in the ways that he has when Barca have possession in the last 3 matches. Soon after that, the 4-0, Busquets sprays it out wide to Dembélé, who pops the ball over to Griezmann, and wonderful composure. Hard to believe that Griezmann is out of form with this finish, but he did also score earlier in the match, so I think he was feeling himself on the day, and Griezmann gets his brace to combine with Messi's brace, makes it 4-0 at that point. 65th minute, Messi and De Jong get a rest. Braithwaite and Pjanic check in, and for Griezmann, and for Koeman, he must be smiling ear to ear at that point that he's able to take Messi off because Barca are winning by such a large margin at that point in the second half. 72nd minute, Puig and Trincao come on for Pedri and Dembélé. So just like the first 2 subs, it's like-for-like swaps for all 4 subs up to that point. And of course, everyone excited to see Puig finally in a circumstance this season, because up to that point he had just 4 total minutes in the Liga. So I think everyone excited to see Puig not only get 18 minutes to show what he's got, but actually for the first time in the Liga play in a circumstance where they're not desperately looking for an equalizer or trying to play from behind, and the game is something where Puig can be very comfortable and try to find the match on his own. 58th minute, if the match wasn't over already, it's a red card for Vallejo because Puig threads a through ball across 3 players to Braithwaite. Yeah, he misplayed a few passes, but Puig, he just has the magic in his feet. 20 of 22 on his passing today. That 1 accurate long ball today, and also 1 for 1 on his dribbles in those 18 minutes of action. 81st minute is Junior Firpo coming on for Dest, the last sub for Barca. So no Barca B-boys today, no Conrad de la Fuente, no ES Moriba, but these are the first team players for a reason, so it's not really a problem for me at all in this circumstance. The first team players should be playing over the Barca B-boys, but it's nice to see them around the team. And when the circumstances do merit it, I guess this would have been that. But again, Pjanic, Trincao, Puig, Junior Firpo, these are all players crying out for minutes, and they are in the first team situation. Conrad and Moriba can always play with Barca B. The first team players should be able to play for the Barca B boys just over merit in that circumstance. I did talk about the attacking talents, and I made mention to the center backs, but for me, Umtiti and Mingueza, really happy with the showings we saw from both these. Umtiti, his best match in years, as far as not only just the offside step, but cutting out clearances, aerial duels, doing all those little things, getting the clean sheet for Ter Stegen. Because even though Ter Stegen had a number of saves in this match, Granada are a team that, as much as they don't score much and they do concede, they're still a 7th place team in the league, and they create a lot of chances. But what I was happy to see from Barcelona is that the chances that Granada were getting on goal were easy saves for Ter Stegen. And sure, he had to make the save, but that's a lot of credit to Mingueza and Umtiti for keeping that defense organized. I was happy to see that. And Dest as well, I thought he had a much better performance than we've seen in the last 3 or 4 matches. Offensively, he was very helpful, and Granada were having some issue dealing with Dembélé and Dest on the wing, and that's a lot of credit to the pressure that Dembélé, with every touch of the ball, puts on a defense, and so Dest has been able to capitalize on that with overlapping runs, and just always being a threat with that combination out wide. But defensively, I thought Dest was very solid today as well, so happy with his performance. He comes off in the 81st minute. But Umtiti and Mingueza as well, yes, he got the yellow, sure, but he was really good in dealing with the crafty veteran in Soldado. As I said, that's a lot of responsibility, and Mingueza was also bright in possession as well, dribbling and taking that space that Granada was affording him and opening up those pockets for those interiors inside the midfield. Now, before we go, I want to say for the man of the match, the stats say Griezmann. The stats also could argue for Messi. They both had 2 goals, obviously. Dembélé was bright as far as his numbers. Frenkie de Jong was good in this match. As I said, Dest, Mingueza, Umtiti, all good. Pedri and Alba weren't bad by any means. They had less to do, if you will. I think Granada's game plan was actually to snuff out Pedri and his use of the ball. But defensively, again, in transition, playing as interior, Pedri still had a lot of responsibility. And they did that really well as Barca's attack was kind of doing its own thing. And they were playing through the middle through de Jong more than they were in Pedri. And if that's what Granada was forcing, Barca took advantage of it. And that's fine by me. So it's probably the wrong answer for me to say that while Griezmann, Messi, and de Jong were also candidates for the honor of man of the match, I'm actually going to go with Sergio Busquets in this. And it goes back to the first thing I said in this match review. That 4-3-3 and the change to this formation is giving us not only the best Busquets of this season, but we have not seen him with 3 straight games in the way that he has had them in the form that he has been in. He was absolutely sensational on the day. And the advanced metrics do punish players for picking up yellow cards. They also do punish you for not winning aerial duels, which a player who's over 6 feet, you always expect Busquets is going to win aerial duels, but still throughout his career, he doesn't really. He wins ground duels, as he did today, 4 of the 5 that he went in on. But it's what he did to control this game and dominate the game through Busquets. 135 touches. He missed 10 passes on the day, but he also connected on 116 of them, 92% passing accuracy, 3 key passes. He was 7 of 8 on long balls. The way that he transitioned Barca from defense to attack, the way that he switched the field, he was just so important. And when he's going to play the way he did today, Barcelona are going to win matches. So for me, the man of the match was actually Sergio Busquets. Because if you don't give him the man of the match for a match like today, then he's never going to get it, and you're always going to have to give it to the attacking player. So yes, Griezmann, 2 goals, great performance. De Jong continues his fine form. Just like we've seen Busquets this season, De Jong has actually probably had his 3 best matches right in a row. Maybe not individual performances, but his 3 best matches of form that I think we've seen at FC Barcelona. So that has been a great sign to see him succeed as the interior there. And Messi, I guess to say he's back to putting the ball in the back of the net. We knew it would come eventually, but now 11 goals on the season, putting the rest of the Liga on notice that Messi is back. And hopefully that gives Barca just a little bit of an intimidation factor that they might have been missing lately. So Koeman, as stubborn as he was with that 4-2-3-1, it seems like he's finally getting some of his ideas through. It seems like the team is excited to play for him, and that 4-3 is working. And that means it's 3 straight wins as well, snapping the Koeman curse of only winning 2 straight. And now it's Barca established as the 3rd place team in the table and hot on the heels, numerically, of the 2 Madrid Giants. Things change quickly in Spain, but things are looking up for Koeman and Barca at the moment. So I'll leave it on that positive note, and until next time, Forza Barca.